Welcome back. Today's project is a flying saucer. It's 22 inches in diameter and stands 9 inches tall. I'm going to use some of the LED lights that Tom sent me. Again, Tom, thank you very much. I turned the main body of it a few weeks ago, so it's pretty much identical to the one I did before. So I'm going to focus more on the construction, and I did the base differently too. So let's go ahead and get started. The wood shop is sponsored by ChefwareKits and Easy Wood Tools. All right, change of plans. I was gonna make a walnut ring and then put another piece of myrtle wood on top of it, but it broke on me. So I have this bowl, and I really don't like how shallow it is. And I had to take out quite a bit of it to get rid of some bark enclosure that didn't go all the way around and it looked odd. So I'm gonna use this for the top, and I'm just gonna hollow it out a little bit more like a bowl and then bring the diameter down because it needs to be 8.5 inches to go in there. So I'm just gonna work on that, and then we'll just turn it upside down, stick it on there, and then that way I can put my lights in through that, and I'll have a little bit of room to work inside. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on the lathe, sand it up with the DA a little bit, and then glue this piece into it, and I'll put a little plug in there of myrtle wood so it kind of ties it all together, and then when I do the base, I'll do myrtle wood and walnut as well, so it kind of flows nice. But I'm gonna go ahead and just sand it up and use my little screwdriver here, put it back on the lathe, and then just do it by hand though with the DA. Okay, once I get it sanded and glued, then we'll start working on it a little bit more. I have a little bit of a ridge here. I'm just going to clean that up real quick and then true this piece up and then turn a myrtle wood plug for that. Okay, I'm going to pull this off, turn that plug, and then put it back on, and then true it all up and sand it, the whole thing. I'm using a pencil to mark for the lines, and then the indexer on the lathe helps me line everything up and space them evenly. I'm just going to coat the whole thing with mineral oil. With a large piece like this, it takes forever to get it coated if you're trying to do it while you're sanding. I just finished up with 600 and wiping the excess off here. When we were down visiting Lynn this week, she gave me some of her finishes. I'm going to use the raw linseed oil and beeswax as a finish on this piece. Okay, here's the bottom piece, and this will stand off from the top a little bit so the light can shine through. It's 19 inches across. I did have to laminate it together. I didn't have a big enough piece for this part. But so what I need to do with this is just sand it, finish it, and I need to cut a recess in here too, because the base is going to come up in here and tie the whole thing together so it doesn't come apart. And then I'll have the battery and switch and everything in the base. This is the bottom piece of the base. I'm going to turn a recess in the bottom to accommodate for the battery pack, and then flip it around and turn a recess in the top of it to accept the next ring. This is the first walnut ring. I'm going to turn a tenon on it so it locks into the bottom piece, and I'm going to do the same, and there'll be 5 rings in all. Okay, this is the last ring. I'm going to true the whole piece up and go ahead and put a tenon on it to accept the bottom disc of the saucer. And the last piece I need to turn is a disc that separates the top and the bottom of the saucer, so it gives that little gap so the light can shine out through. And I'm going to put a groove in it to accept the LED strip lights. Okay, let's put this thing together. I'm going to solder the wires together first and then secure them down and then put the ring in and lock the whole piece together. Okay, I got them all in there. Next time I'm going to need to bring the holes in a little bit closer or get some more wire. So anyway, so the battery packs can go on the base, screw up under there, and then these are going to feed down through the center there. So alright, I haven't glued it together yet. I want to make a few changes before I do that, and one of them is where I'm going to put the switch. I was going to put it down on the base, but I left the base thick because I wanted to add some weight to it, and it's just going to be a pain trying to countersink the little switch, on and off switch in there. So I'm going to put it up underneath that lip on the bottom of it. It's really thin. I can drill down in it just a little bit, and I think it'll work out perfect. And then you can just turn that to the back side, and it'll have the little switch there. And the other thing is, I was messing around with this stuff, the same stuff I made the lightsaber out of, and it just looks cool coming up there. I don't want it sticking out like I had it in the picture, but I think maybe I'm going to cut them in little pieces and slide one of them down there and see how it looks. If it doesn't look good, I'll pull them out, but I was wanting to mess around with that. Oh, and Tom, they gave me the lights. I will put some pictures up at the end here of a bunch of flying saucers that he made. And he's almost done with the one I made him. We had to make it out of plywood because he needed it 24 inches and pretty thick. So I ended up laminating a bunch of plywood together to make it, but he's almost done with it. And then he coated it, the whole thing with resin, and it looks great. And he actually has one that's I think it says 4.5 feet around. It's a picture of it in his garage, but yeah, it's a monster. All right, if this is your first time here, I have new project video every Friday, and if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe. All right, till next time, take care.